Imagine floating in the absolute silence of deep space. You leave the warmth of the sun far behind. The light fades. The noise of the world melts away into a profound, chilling quiet. Ahead of you, suspended in the endless dark, is a pale blue sphere. It looks peaceful. It looks like a giant sleeping pearl. For decades, humanity believed that Uranus was a quiet, featureless ghost world at the edge of our solar system. A boring planet, frozen and still. But we were wrong, so incredibly wrong. The James Webb Space Telescope has just opened its golden infrared eyes and stared directly at this distant ice giant. And what it saw staring back is nothing short of horrifying. Beneath that calm, beautiful blue exterior lies a world of extreme violence, crushing pressures, and nightmarish weather. A planet that defies everything we thought we knew. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in the cold, clear void. Today, we are going to travel nearly 2 billion miles away from home. We are going to plunge into the terrifying, mesmerizing reality of Uranus. Let the gravity pull you in. To understand the sheer shock of this new discovery, we must look back. We must return to the year 1986. The Voyager 2 spacecraft, after years of traveling through the dark, finally reached Uranus. It was our first and only visit to the seventh planet. Voyager took pictures in visible light, the kind of light our human eyes can see. And it sent back images of a smooth, light blue billiard ball. There were no swirling clouds. There were no massive storms. It looked utterly dead. This created a massive misconception, a cosmic myth that Uranus was the most boring planet in the solar system. Scientists believed the ice giant was locked in a deep, uneventful freeze. But Voyager 2 was flying blind. It could not pierce the thick layer of photochemical haze that blankets the planet. The true face of Uranus was hidden behind a veil of frozen smog. It remained a secret for nearly 40 years. Until now. Until a telescope completely untethered from human limitations was pointed its way. James Webb does not see like we do. It sees heat. It sees through the dust. It sees the invisible. And it has finally pulled back the curtain on this forgotten world. But what happens when we look with new eyes? The James Webb Space Telescope shifts its mirrors, focusing on the distant dark. The infrared sensors begin to gather light that has traveled for over 2 hours just to reach us. Slowly, a new image forms. The boring blue ball vanishes. In its place, a glowing, dynamic, and furious monster appears. The first thing that shatters the old myth is the polar cap. Webb revealed a massive, blindingly bright zone at the planet's north pole. This is not ice. It is a gigantic, swirling polar cyclone, a continuous, roaring storm that covers a massive portion of the planet. Imagine a hurricane so large it could swallow the Earth whole. This polar cap is terrifying in its behavior. It seems to grow brighter and more intense as the planet approaches its summer solstice. The atmosphere is literally boiling with energy. The serene blue marble we thought we knew is actually a cauldron of violent atmospheric chemistry. Surrounding this massive polar cap are brilliant, glowing clouds. These are not fluffy white clouds like on Earth. They are massive storms made of frozen methane. They are constantly shifting, violently churning as they are ripped apart by the planet's terrifying winds. Let us talk about those winds. You might think a cold planet would have a slow, sluggish atmosphere, but the winds on Uranus reach speeds of up to 560 miles per hour. That is faster than a commercial airplane. A relentless, roaring gale that never stops. Imagine standing in a wind that strong. The sound alone would be a deafening, continuous roar. But there is no solid ground to stand on. This brings us to another myth about Uranus. Despite being called an ice giant, it does not have a solid, icy surface. It is a terrifying, bottomless ocean of fluid. If you were to fall into Uranus, Your journey would be a nightmare of physics. You would sink through the upper atmosphere of hydrogen and helium. The cold is unimaginable. Uranus is actually the coldest planet in the solar system, even colder than Neptune, which is further away. As you sink deeper, the air thickens, the pressure builds. You would pass through clouds of hydrogen sulfide. This is the gas that makes rotten eggs smell. The upper atmosphere of this beautiful blue planet is actually a toxic, foul-smelling fog. Deeper still, the pressure becomes crushing. The darkness is absolute. Here we find a brilliant example of how bizarre the universe can be. The immense pressure and heat deep within the planet begin to tear methane molecules apart. The carbon atoms separate and bond together. This creates something truly spectacular and utterly terrifying. Diamond rain, millions of tiny diamonds slowly sinking through the dark, dense fluid of the planet. Imagine a slow-motion hailstorm of precious gems falling eternally toward the core of the world. These diamonds sink into the mantle, but do not picture a mantle of rock. The mantle of Uranus is a vast, super-pressurized, boiling ocean of water, ammonia, and methane. It is a supercritical fluid. It behaves like a gas and a liquid at the same time. This boiling, churning ocean creates something else that James Webb and scientists are trying to understand: the magnetic field of Uranus. On Earth, our magnetic field lines up nicely with our poles. It protects us. It is orderly. On Uranus, the magnetic field is a chaotic nightmare. It is tilted by 60 degrees away from the planet's spin axis. It is also completely off-center. It is as if the heart of the planet's magnetic dynamo was shoved violently to one side. Because of this strange alignment, the magnetic field tumbles wildly as the planet rotates. It opens and closes like a giant invisible jaw. Sometimes it blocks the solar wind. Sometimes it opens wide, letting deadly radiation pour straight into the planet's atmosphere. But why is Uranus so broken? Why is its magnetic field lopsided? Why are its winds so fast? The answer lies in the most horrifying aspect of Uranus. The planet is entirely sideways. Its axis of rotation is tilted by 98 degrees. Uranus does not spin like a top, like the Earth does. It rolls along its orbital path like a barrel. This creates the most extreme and terrifying seasons in the entire solar system. A single year on Uranus takes 84 Earth years. This means that one pole faces the Sun for 42 years. 42 years of continuous, unbroken, glaring sunlight. And on the other side, 42 years of absolute, freezing, pitch-black night. Half a human lifetime spent in endless darkness. Imagine being plunged into a night that lasts for 4 decades. The temperature drops, the atmosphere freezes and sinks. Then, slowly, the planet rolls. The sun begins to hit the dark side, causing massive, violent storms as the frozen gases rapidly boil into the atmosphere. This violent history is written in the sky. James Webb did not just capture the planet, it captured its rings. The myth is that only Saturn has rings, but Webb's incredibly sensitive infrared eyes illuminated the 13 dusty rings of Uranus in breathtaking detail. These rings are not made of bright, sparkling ice like Saturn's. They are incredibly dark. They are made of dark organic matter and dust. They are the pulverized remains of moons that strayed too close and were torn apart by the planet's gravity. Webb even captured the elusive Zeta ring. This is the faint, innermost ring that is incredibly difficult to see. It looks like a ghost, a whisper of dust falling slowly into the planet's atmosphere, a reminder of the constant destruction happening in orbit. And then there are the moons. James Webb captured several of the 27 known moons of Uranus. They are a tragic family, all named after characters from Shakespeare and Alexander Pope. They orbit the equator, meaning they are also flipped sideways. Look at the moon aerial. It is scarred with massive canyons, some much deeper than the Grand Canyon. Scientists believe these were caused by water freezing and expanding inside the moon, tearing its crust apart from the inside out. Then there is Titania, the largest moon. Webb's data helps us search for the impossible. Could there be a liquid water ocean hidden beneath its frozen surface? Could life exist in the deep dark, orbiting a sideways toxic ice giant? But the most horrifying moon is Miranda. Let us shatter a myth about peaceful lunar formations. Miranda looks like a Frankenstein monster. It is a chaotic jigsaw puzzle of deep valleys and towering ice cliffs. One cliff is 12 miles high, the tallest cliff in the solar system. Scientists believe Miranda was completely shattered by a massive impact, blown into pieces, and then gravity slowly dragged the broken shards back together. It is a stitched-together corpse of a moon, forever orbiting its strange master. All of this chaos points to a terrifying event in the past. What knocked Uranus on its side? What shattered its moons? The leading theory is a cosmic catastrophe. Billions of years ago, a protoplanet roughly twice the size of Earth smashed directly into Uranus. Imagine the scale of that collision. An Earth-sized bullet striking a gas giant. The impact was so violent it permanently tipped the planet over, disrupted its magnetic core, and scattered debris that formed its dark rings and fractured moons. Uranus is still traumatized by this ancient violence. It is leaking its atmosphere into space. Webb has helped track how the bizarre magnetic field pulls gas away from the planet, slowly bleeding it out into the void of the solar system. But there is a strange beauty in this horror. James Webb's images show us that Uranus is not a dead, boring rock. It is a dynamic, living, breathing world of extremes. It is a cautionary tale, a violent history lesson, and a masterpiece of cosmic art. As we pull away from the chilling grip of Uranus, the blue orb shrinks back into the darkness. We leave behind the raging polar cyclones, the deafening supersonic winds, and the slow, eternal fall of diamond rain. We leave behind a world scarred by ancient violence, rolling endlessly on its side through 42 years of pitch-black night. The James Webb Space Telescope has finally shown us the truth. The universe is not a quiet, empty place. Even the most seemingly peaceful planets hide terrifying, unimaginable power. They are beautiful, yes, but they are wild, and they remind us of how precious and how fragile our own calm little world truly is. Thank you for taking this journey into the deep dark with me. Let your mind drift back to the safety of Earth, to the gentle warmth of our sun. Before you go, tell me down below, which terrifying aspect of Uranus surprised you the most? Sleep well, keep looking up, and never stop wondering about the secrets hiding in the dark.